How are you? Just eating a cracker and some tea. Yep. Well, I hope you watched my last video. Very important video about Russia. What nonsense people believe today about the Gog and Magog war. You see it over and over again. And of course, people are afraid today or concerned about a third world war with Russia. And so, yeah, there's people that can come in and really confuse people. But yes, going according to these seers, and there's even a Christian seer from Norway who saw that in 63 that war can absolutely happen in Europe, the Third World War. And he showed very many signs that have already been fulfilled. And so, yeah, there is a need for being concerned about Third World War. Absolutely. And that it is started not necessarily by Russia, but Russia's going to be involved in it, and they're going to be taking over Europe. So watch that video if you have not seen it yet. Today I'm going to talk about flat earth. And I know I always have then people that just totally either get angry, argue, whatever. People from the beginning, I want to tell you, I don't believe in neither one. I think I have a tendency to believe more in a round earth, globe, than in a flat earth. I cannot see any evidence that we are living in a flat earth. And I'm not talking about what somebody told me, okay? Not something that somebody told. I'm talking about my own observations. I observe the sun once in a while. And are you telling me that they make all that up? You mean they make this up, that the sun has explosions that we are getting hit by? We know it. We have the evidence for that. That's all simulated, is all made up. We can see the picture of the sun and the corona holes and the corona hole explosions, and that's all made up. Oh no, because the sun is a disk. Same thing with the moon. Oh, the moon is also a disk, but then we know that the surface is changing. So how is that? I mean, okay, you can explain that to me, please. There's many other things. Okay, how are you explaining that when you go up, even if you don't go to another planet, let's go up in a satellite. Okay, satellites don't exist either, right? All these Starlink satellites that they're having, they don't exist. What are we seeing when we see these Starlink satellites? We see them in the sky, right? Lined up behind each other. They don't exist, right? Well, airplanes don't exist either. You don't think somebody who's flying, okay, is not realizing, wait a minute, there's no end to the earth. Because if there's a flat earth, you have a disk, flat earth, there's an end somewhere. Look at the picture that I posted on my what do you call it? The front of my video thumbnail. This is what people used to believe during the Middle Ages. And why did they believe that during the Middle Ages? Because the Roman Catholic Church didn't want anybody to hear the truth. What was the truth? Well, the truth was that no, all the observed facts do not validate that this earth is flat. That came from the scientists during that time. And they were persecuted. They were killed. They were imprisoned because they went against the church's notion and belief that the earth is flat. Now, did they believe it or not, or did they just keep people in darkness, which is more the case? Because see, even before the Catholic Church took over, we had actually wise men, like the wise men that came to Jesus, who were observers of the stars. And even if you go to the Indians here in the United States, they already observed the motion of the stars, and they knew that the stars were moving. Yeah, and it seemed like they were moving around the earth and, came back again and, after a certain period of time. That's how we have the zodiac, the 12, what do you call them? Well, they're called zodiacs, right? Because we know that there's a movement in the sky, a circular movement in the sky. I mean, they're not dumb. They were not. You think they are dumb? They observed that, and the only thing that happened is the Roman Catholic Church told them, no, we don't want you to tell anybody because we want to fool people. It's the same church that kept people from reading the Bible. It's the same church that's called Babylon the Great or the Little Horn or the Man of Sin. Because they fooled people during the Dark Ages. And then until the Reformation, everything was locked up and kept in secret. People didn't know the truth. You think you have it bad today? Those people were in worse position than what we are today. And if we're not careful, we're going to go back into Dark Ages. Okay? This is exactly what they're planning today. Oh yeah, keep going back to a flat earth. Freely. Okay? Go back. Close your eyes. Go back to a flat earth. We have more and more people believing in this nonsense today. People that would come out and really, during the pandemic, would be awake and say the truth, are now turning around and saying, and even entertaining this idea about the flat earth. And of course, it used to come, from these Bible people, Bible believers, so-called Christians, that pulled one verse again out of the Bible, right, cherry picking, and said, oh no, see, here it is. It has to be a firmament. It has to be a firmament. Well, I see a firmament, but I still doesn't mean you have to have a flat earth to have a firmament. Because, firmament, I can see it. Why? Because our eyes are being really tricked and we don't understand that. And do you think the people that lived 2,000 years ago or even more, 3,000 and wrote the Bible, they were not tricked too? That's all they saw. They all saw the firmament. What? They only could walk. How far do you think their world was, or how big do you think their world was? Because they only could walk. Oh, maybe they had a horse sometimes, or camel, or whatever, but their worldview was very limited. And yes, I understand there's people that saying, oh yeah, this worldview that we're having today with this globe earth, round earth, there's a lot of false, maybe assumptions or facts or whatever. It's not facts anymore, but false observations, like for instance, with magnetism, right? That just in some areas don't make sense. There's exceptions. There's exceptions to the rule, but even though there's exceptions to the rule, doesn't mean anything. It just means maybe we don't have the right model yet. Some people say we're living in an electric universe. And if we are living in an electric universe and we're still taking our old model, yeah, okay, there is a lack in the old model. And then we're going to the electric universe, and I'm thinking, well, maybe there's some lacks too, because it's still not what really the whole concept is. Human beings right now are conceited. They think, science is everything. They made science into a god. And science is not a god. Science is a way to observe the world or observe things. That's all it is. And to collect information. Information, because of our perception, can be after a while wrong. Or we're adding it together and whatever. We're bringing the data together. How many times we should have seen it in the past four years during the pandemic, how people collected information and they presented it absolutely wrong in wrong statistics. We should know that you can manipulate, observations. Manipulate experiences, experiments. We should know that we can manipulate experiments, especially in the social sciences. And of course, also even, in medicine. Yeah. I see it all the time, how in medicine we can manipulate the data. We can say, this and this and that, when in reality we don't even have the true information. It's always there. So science, no, is not a god. Science is not ultimate truth. Absolutely not. It is a way to explain or actually it's a way to collect information from this world. And that information has to be rechecked and rechecked and rechecked. And that information is not necessarily the truth unless we check it with the Bible, and the Bible tells us clearly. No assumptions. Just because the Bible says, the firmament, that means we have a firmament. Well, what's a firmament? Well, it's a globe over, and it looks like that to me right now. I'm looking outside, and it looks like there's a bowl over our world. Why? Because my perception is wrong. Okay? And those people that wrote it, same thing. Because our perception can be wrong depending on what we are thinking, how we are thinking, how much information we have. Our perception can fool us. And so, at this point, no, I definitely don't think it's a flat earth, because I think that has been disproven. Now again, do we have a round earth, a globe? I don't know. Okay? Or is it even altogether different? Again, like, is it a simulation? And again, what does that mean, a simulation? Well, electrical universe. It's all impulses, right? Electrical impulses. Again, we look at something solid and we think it's solid and we hit it and it's solid. But in reality, we know it's not really solid. There's a lot of space between the atoms. And why does it feel solid? Okay, why does it feel solid? Again, it has to do with electricity. There's so much we don't explain, and I believe that the elite doesn't want us to explain it. The elite doesn't teach us. They stay stuck in this old model, and this old model is now lacking. And people see it's lacking. Okay, they see it's lacking. They know it's lacking. But the elite are not giving us more information, and the opposite. They want to keep us in this system. And what they want us to do is they want us to even go back to a previous system that was even less, or would even less explain what's going on. Because they want us to go back into dark age. Do you want to go back into a dark age? Or do you want to go forward and, okay, if you're not interested in exploring things, leave it to other people that maybe are interested in exploring. If you're not interested in exploring and you just think that that's not something, well, at least stay where you are and say, look, I cannot explain a lot of things, and maybe the model that we're having today is not correct. Okay, but I trust God that no matter what it is, no matter what it is, He's in control. And He put everything in place. And there's never ever we can figure out really until we probably with Jesus and the New Jerusalem, even there, can we really figure out the whole system. I think eventually we will learn more and more about how the system really works. Now, can you explain another dimension? If you're going back to a flat earth, how do you explain heaven? Oh, it's somewhere up there above the firmament, and He's got His little throne up there somewhere. People, that's not how it is. Another dimension, which is heaven, is not, can never explain it. Oh, it's like this little throne. That's the world view of a primitive human. God didn't make us that way. He wanted us to learn and to learn and to learn and to acquire and explain and collect facts. Yes, He wants us. He says, explore the world. No, He didn't say. He says, what does it say in Genesis? He said, fill the earth and subdue it. That's what subdue it. Now, subdue, I believe, means you get to know it. Because he put them above as stewards above the earth. And He wants the earth to be subdued. It means we need to explore it and understand it. Fill the earth, okay, that's something we need to discuss in another video, what that means. He didn't say overfill it. He said just simply say fill it. In other words, don't put so much in it that it just overflows and overflows and overflows. But I'm not even going to talk about that today. But yes, fill the earth and subdue it. So we are told to explore it. That's what I see. And not stick with like a primitive brain and take the lies that somebody else is giving us. Yeah, question. Question things. Absolutely, question. The concept we have today is lacking. It definitely is. And we're not getting anything else. It's like, look at the cars we're having. They're primitive. Compared to a computer, a car is extremely primitive. But does that mean we have to go back to even more primitive cars? We have a car from the 80s that is now outdated, right? So do we have to go back now to a car from the 50s because that car was better? Or do we have to say, okay, maybe we need to develop this car or even come up with something new? a new transportation, a new way to transport. Or, oh, the cars are not good, so we have to go back to, horse and buggy. No, you need to move forward. You need to move forward and not backwards. And a lot of people are doing that. They're moving backwards. I understand, when some people don't want to think. I am okay with that. Believe me, if you are a flat earth believer, okay, I get it. You want to believe it, you want to believe it. I don't. Because I question things. Number one, I question things. I even questioned flat earth. I didn't just take the model they gave us today. I'm looking at flat earth. I have looked at flat earth in the past. I'm thinking, no, it can't be it. I'm looking at the model they have today and I'm thinking, well, I don't know if it makes sense or not. It makes more sense than the flat earth. Probably, if I would be a scientist, I'd probably say, well, there is some things that don't make sense. But then again, move on and find out why. People, we're being deceived today. And I believe this flat earth is another deception. It's another big deception because it wants us to go back to a time where we even more blinded. Like I said before, the Reformation, under this Dark Ages, where Pope had all the power. Yeah, I made some videos about, Pope and Antichrist and these things, and that's how it was in those Dark Ages. Everything was in the hands of the Pope, of the man of sin. And I'm not going back there. If I don't understand something, okay, then I will wait for Jesus or the Holy Spirit to guide me and show me the new thing. I'm not going. And at this point in my life, I don't care. I really don't care if it's round or flat or whatever. Now, I know something is coming, a devastating event, a cataclysmic event is coming. Okay? And they're saying because of a pole shift. Oh, they're saying because of whatever is going on the sun. Well, it's going to come. No matter how you explain it. Some people say it's Planet X that's coming. A meteor, whatever. God put it in place. And do we understand God's ways? No. Trying to get closer and closer to understand it, but we never will fully understand it. We'll never fully understand it. That's why he gave us the Genesis that he did. A primitive way to explain how God created this existing universe, because there's other dimensions like heaven that we don't even understand. We don't even come close to understanding. No, heaven is not up there somewhere, a little castle or whatever, Pearly Street or what. No, that's not what it is. That's the old way of thinking about it. Okay? Real old way of thinking about it. No, it is in a different dimension and we don't understand it. We have not even a clue how to get to understand that. So anyways, I'm coming to an end. Just wanted to bring this up because, again, a lot of people are talking about this flat earth. And even people that I thought, wait a minute, they should be better informed. Okay, better informed. They are believing it. They're believing it. Should I say smarter? Because no. The better informed, I thought they were better informed. But it doesn't matter. People wake up. Yes, don't take everything. Don't think everything is the ultimate, and especially not science. They have shown that science constantly, not constantly, but lots of times changes. Lots of times changes. It's not the ultimate. Science is never the ultimate. They try to get us to believe that, medicine is built on science. Oh, it's scientific, so it has to be right. Oh, it's scientific, so it's the ultimate truth. No. People, that's not the way it is. Okay? It's not the way it is. We are faulty human beings, and we make mistakes all the time, including the scientists. Let the Holy Spirit guide you, because he does not make any mistakes.